Hey guys, guess who's back again? And about time too, since Deltarune Chapter 5 has finally released, so I figured it's about time I crawled out of the rock I live in to show all of San Francisco my Girona. Oh, and more unused stuff too. Anyway, just in case you accidentally clicked on this video instead of Tetrabit's video and have no clue what you're watching, we're gonna be looking at some of the unused content in Deltarune Chapter 5. Anyways, before getting started, I'm gonna copy Half-Breed Chaos's homework yet again just to be safe. Chat, don't harass people over using text-to-speech. There's a difference between it and AI. There are a plethora of reasons that somebody might be inclined to use text-to-speech that should be respected. And besides, if you're gonna try and criticize my content, there are way better things to get me on than using text-to-speech. Anyways, unfortunately necessary disclaimers out of the way, let's get started. Starting off, let's talk about something that isn't very common for Toby Fox to leave in his games: unused enemies. In the files, there are unused objects for both a newbird enemy as well as a ball enemy, complete with corresponding monster classifications in the monster setup script. What quintigulously comedic encounters has Toby been hiding from us, I hear you wondering, from the electromagnetic waves flowing through your synapses? Unfortunately, not much of actual note. Other than the different sprites and names, both the ball and the newbird enemies have literally all of their code copied over from Flowey, so functionally they are completely identical. While technically the acts appear different, it'll trigger the code for the Flowey's acts, which in some cases just softlocks the game. My theory for why these guys are in the game at all is that, based on evidence from the code suggesting that these guys were added very late in Chapter 5's development, there was probably an original intent to make the Trashy Trio a fight with 3 separate enemies for Trashy, Newbert, and Ball, but they ultimately didn't do that because it'd be a lot of effort for a boss fight literally called Trashy Trio. That would also explain why there's no Trashy enemy. Because there is actually a Trashy enemy, it's the Trashy Trio boss fight that got used. They just crammed everything in the one object. That's just my theory though. Oh, and they're helping Gaster in the code. Okay, so I'm too lazy to rework this segment entirely, but after more research I've come to the conclusion that this isn't entirely correct. If you look in the Japanese localization file for the game, you'll actually find a whole block of unused text that was meant for an unused object Trashy enemy that isn't in the game anymore. It's nothing interesting, just a bunch of copy and pasted Flowey dialogue, but it means there was a Trashy enemy object at one point in development. I don't think this changes the overall point though. It was probably meant to be a fight with 3 enemy objects that got condensed into one. Anyway, while there may not be any other enemy objects left over in the code, there is still evidence of a more fleshed out unused enemy. Known as Archer Pot, there are a ton of unused sprites related to an Archer Pot enemy similar to Terracotta. There is an NPC in the cafe that uses some of these sprites, but far more exist in the files that suggest it was going to be a more fleshed out encounter. Unfortunately, as I already kind of said, anything related to this enemy beyond these sprites has been removed from the game. There is no enemy object that uses these sprites, no attacks that could have been meant for this enemy, at least that I could find, no unused monster classification that could relate to this, etc. All that's left are these sprites. Anyways, unused enemies aside, let's take a look at some unused attacks. Spoiler warning for the rest of Chapter 5 by the way, because I'm immediately going to go into some late game stuff. Flowey has quite a few unused attacks of note. For starters, there's an unused version of his Girona attack, though it's only very slightly more difficult than the first variant of the attack. Additionally, Flowey has a couple of other unused attacks that involve Green's Fire and Orange. These waves that Flowey sends out are supposed to do damage, but create bullet parents instead of something like regular bullets which actually do damage. This attack fires deflectable gloves. They can't actually deflect into anything though, and the attack never ends. These 2 unused attacks are actually meant to go together, as far as I can tell. You are supposed to reflect the gloves back at Flowey to prevent him from using his charge-up punch. Beyond the code for this already existing, this is further corroborated by how Green's Fire is able to be destroyed by Orange's gloves. This one is just an early version of the other wall attacks with very minimal graphics. This one is a very unfinished, bouncy ball attack with very limited functionality. And no, to my knowledge these bouncy balls don't interact with anything. There's this rotating star attack where you control the stars that's listed alongside Aqua's attacks instead of Blue's for whatever reason. There's this star corridor attack which is called Blue Chase in the files. And then there are also a couple more unused wall variants. There are also several attacks that use an early version of the Orange Soul, like this one which seems to be similar to the other early wall attack from before. This one is apparently an early version of the Girona attack based on its name in the files. This one appears to be an early version of Seth's book attacks, though it is incredibly unfinished. Flowey was also going to have a mechanic where he was going to hijack your act menu and replace it with a flower button that would force you to use the orange soul to select the correct act. Not much work on this was done, as getting the act incorrect still triggers the act normally anyway, but it's still in a functional enough state. Omega Flowey also has a lot of unused behaviors, although unfortunately a lot of the code has been dummied out to remove functionality. For starters, he has an unused bullets phase, though any reference to this phase has been removed from the game. The script to summon the bullets still exists, but they aren't able to do anything other than circle around Flowey. There's also an unused acting phase that has a lot of code seemingly intentionally removed. From what I can infer, it seems like Flowey was going to be able to use his own heart to ACT against us, which we were supposed to counter by using Omega Flirt. Omega Flirt seems to be programmed weirdly, as it isn't a normal act like the other ones used in the game but instead is handled entirely within the Omega Flowey object. Its code has also been removed. However, if the flirt phase is entered, this book appears and slams shut on Pris, so that may have been what protects you from Flowey's acts. Pink also has a few unused attacks. For starters, there's this unused bomb attack with bombs that are pushed around when you go into them. There's also this unused harder variant of the used bomb attack where the bombs explode almost instantly upon landing, which would have made this battle even more fun. There are also these two variants for an unused vertical lanes attack. As well as this unused maze attack that's very unfinished, since it's impossible to tell where each spot will actually send you. Pink also has a couple of unused interactions. For one, the dummies in the background are currently waving their glow sticks in an unused pattern. Additionally, there is an unused interaction when using the share food act by giving the unused item favwich, which gives 15 doki. Blue and yellow also have a surprising amount of unused content. For starters, there is this unused pond dancing attack with both a solo blue and yellow version. There's an unused version of Blue's singing attack without yellow. As well as an unused box spin attack that is completely unable to hurt the player. Due to the fact that almost all of Blue's attacks have versions for both Blue alone and Blue and Yellow, along with the fight type variable being specifically set and checked to be Blue and Yellow, I think Toby might have originally planned to have Blue and Yellow fought separately as well as together, though it also doesn't look like much work was done on such an encounter. Blue also has an unused hint act. The dialogue was scrubbed from the game, but is still found in the Japanese localization file. The dialogue goes as follows. This purple book was found at the scene. It bears a handsome impression of our victim. A breathtaking work of press-off fleur. Yellow's beloved regalia. His yellow corn shirt, vandalized, half-burnt black, by licking flame. A wondrous fragrance, though. Is that smoked olive oil? Green's handkerchief. Long has it cleansed the floor and/or our hearts. But it has been hankernapped. Gone. Only red stains and scissors remain. A metaphor for hole it has left in our hearts. Rest well. Yellow's secret petals? Even I've never heard the faintest whisper of them. These two were the only ones left. Orange and green have a couple of unused attacks. For one, there is this unused version of a vanilla attack that is only very slightly different, as the glove circles have 9 gloves instead of 8. There's also this comedically basic and unfinished orange attack. And this less basic but similarly unfinished punch attack. As well as an early version of Green's Omega attack that is far more similar to its counterpart in Undertale. Aqua also has unused early variants of her knife chain and knife fan attacks. Onto another interesting topic, there is a surprising amount of stuff left over in the code for the rhythm minigame. The most interesting piece of unused content is an almost entirely finished third sanctuary minigame that's accessible in the files. Susie and Ralsei's parts aren't charted, but Chris' section is entirely finished and the song even got a full remix with the guitar. The files also contain references to various other planned tracks, though none of them have any charting like Third Sanctuary does. The tracks that appear to have been planned are Rude Buster, Field of Hopes and Dreams, Third Sanctuary, A Dark Zone, Flower Man, and an unknown, reserved track. Anyway, I'll play the complete Third Sanctuary remix here. And so we reach a conclusion. There are absolutely more unused things to cover. I wasn't exactly the most thorough when making this video or anything, but this was the stuff I thought was the most noteworthy. If I find a bunch of other stuff I think is super interesting or something, I'll make another video, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you're just here for the unused stuff, feel free to click off. But that's enough unsubtle lore dumping. In truth, a large part of my absence from YouTube has been a result of the fact that my philosophy for making videos has always been to do things nobody else has done. I kind of ran out of ideas after like 2 videos. If any of you have ideas for things you want me to cover, please let me know. It doesn't have to be Deltarune related either, though those would be the YouTuber meta and whatnot. There's a couple of neat unused Chapter 1 interactions I've been meaning to do a video on, so I might do something like that. But otherwise I have no ideas, so please give me things to chew on. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to smash that dislike button, check if you're subscribed so you can unsubscribe, and have an amazing rest of your day.